What's the value in a joint practice of D'Amico spending all the time with the offense and you just kind of being the total overseer of the
That's a strong way to put it. No, we're just trying to get execution, and I think both head coaches decided they were going to stay on those fields with their offenses. So, we're just trying to operate the way we're trying to operate. Like, I wouldn't say there's anything to that.
What does it do? I mean, what does it do for you, though? Is it an extra way of looking at things? Is it the same?
No. I mean, like, it's just really, for me, like, obviously, Meek's been a really cool resource to have as we're talking about ideas and calls and stuff. So we try to plan what we want to get done in practice before we go out. And then, honestly, I kind of like lean on the assistant coaches more, too, as we're going through that. Like, okay, what are we seeing, in real time? We didn't, like, do necessarily a lot of prep for that practice. So, like, hey, what are we seeing and what do we want to get done, or what do we want to make an adjustment? So just try to lean on all the guys on the staff to really, like, figure out what we're trying to get accomplished.
What have you seen from him in terms of growth, Caleb, Bullet, just in terms of growth, what are some things you see specifically jumping out to you?
Yeah, a lot of things. I think his confidence really probably towards the second half of last year as he got all those reps under his belt, his confidence started growing. I think he came back this year just sort of hitting the ground running from a communication standpoint, understanding. I think there's some of the nuance to his game's growing. And again, I think someone asked me a question at some point. Like, I think he's just also like taking it upon himself to put himself in some different positions, from playing a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. We haven't done that as much of them in the past. So I think he's kind of like leading the charge on that of like, hey, I want to get some work at this spot or as a strong safety or just at a different rotation. Like, I think we all know like how good he is in the deep end of the field and how valuable he can be getting the ball. But I think he's really shown growth to me of like putting it on himself to say, hey, man, I'm going to try to play down here a little bit more, do this, or, tackling. Like, we keep stressing working on tackling with all these guys. So just really like the way he's attacked the offseason coming from, February on.
With Christian Harris slowly coming back, what are y'all hoping to get out of him?
He's a great football player.
That's what we're hoping. Again, just, everyone's been on, different timelines and schedules and how we're trying to prep. And, like, our goal is to get the best 53 on the roster for, week one. And so he's working to show us that he's one of those guys. And, again, another player when he's playing right and healthy for us, he's fast and explosive. And, had some good blitzes today and did some really cool things in that part of the field too. So just hope another guy that can add to that linebacker room and really like give us some more options.
Getting into this final preseason game, especially when you have so much competition at like the defensive line position, the linebacker position, how important is it for you to get some of these guys maybe a little bit more game time just to get a better look and better feel for them? Outside of what, talking to their position coaches, but to see them on the field.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, D'Amico's actually told all those guys, like, hey, like, everything's an evaluation. Like, everything we do in this building's an evaluation. Like, are you on time for your treatment? Like, that's an evaluation, because we want to know, can we trust you to take care of your body, when we need you to, when it's a long season. So, like, you're missing treatment, like, hey, man, we're evaluating that, right? So then you go into joint practices, game day, like all those things that we're asking those guys to do. Like, we're moving guys around into whether it's different positions or putting them in different calls or in situations and say, like, okay, how do we handle this? Like, it's all evaluated. So, we feel, we have a lot of good competition at a lot of spots. So, like, it's going to probably take all the way up through next weekend to figure out what the best team is for us to try to go win in week one. So, I would say we're going to evaluate practice tomorrow. We're going to evaluate the joint practice on Thursday, and yeah, obviously game reps and some of those guys that we got to find out, or that there's some tight spots and some close competition. Like, it's all going to play in. So I would say there's a lot of work for us to make sure we're picking the right guys.
You've been in this league for a while. How hard is it for you to have that hard conversation with a player that gave his all?
It's hard. It's hard, man. I mean, like, every guy out here, like, I try to make it a point of like going around and make me emotional here, like post game, like every single one of those guys like lays their body out. Like, I never want to take that for granted, like that those guys are just like giving themselves to this team and this organization, this sport. So those are hard conversations, man. And you spend all this time through the off season and working with these guys, and The hope is that, we've trained them enough, or I've given enough of myself to them that they have some success somewhere else if it's not here, if it doesn't work out here, and and that I always want those guys to give the most of themselves, so that if something happens and they have to walk away from the Houston Texans, that they do it with their head high, that they gave everything they had, and either someone beat them or like I said, maybe there's another opportunity somewhere else. So, but those conversations are always hard. It's unfortunate. It's part of what we do here, and there's restrictions on how many guys we have in the building. But I'll stop coaching if I lose sight of the fact that what these guys do for us, man. So it's a hard week, and just try to keep pouring into those guys and give them everything they got, and give everything we got to have them help success. So tough week.
Omar, CJ Gardner-Johnson works his way back. MJ Stewart, Jalen Mills, Rashees,
Sure.
Bosby, Treatment. What have you seen from those guys as they fill in and cross-train guys?
Yeah, I've had, obviously, I think we've talked about Russ a few times the last couple weeks, but I think the rest of that group, just a really cool collection of veteran guys. You know what I mean? I think between Miles and MJ and Jay Mills now coming back in, just really I don't say very similar, from a experienced multi-positional players that have done a lot for us. So hopefully those guys just keep growing in the system. They each have sort of different length of experience with us, but again, guys that are in the right spot and can communicate and make the checks properly and do the things we're asking them to do, those guys are invaluable. So that's a really cool group of veteran safeties that have stepped up to get some playing time for us.
He's got a lot of guys who play a lot of football ahead of him. What have you seen out of Tafuna, and how he's kind of used some of those veterans as a resource, and what he's been able to do as a draft?
Yeah, Junior's been cool, man. We talked, obviously a veteran room, the D-line, and a lot of really good players in there. I thought Junior had a really good game Saturday against Carolina. Really showed up with, he came from a system where he wasn't attacking kind of the way we do, and he was reading blocks a little bit more. So I thought his growth in terms of knocking people back at the line of scrimmage last week was really, really evident, and I was excited to see that. He's got a great passion for the game. We're not sure about his little sack dance there with Solo, so we got to work on that. But I think from where he came from college and the system he played to show the growth, and I think that room is probably as tight a room as any. And I've said this before, those guys go over in the little dungeon over there and they just go to work. And so I think all those veteran guys, all the young players, they really want them to succeed. They help them, and they really work with all those guys, and it's a really tight room. So it was really fun. The guys had fun with him, so him have some success. Excited for him to keep playing for us.
When you look at that defense, defensive backbone and the players that they have in there, the veteran players and the young players that they have, how easy was it for Jaylen Smith to be able to transition into his role, and especially with the way that he played on Saturday, getting that interception, things like that? Just how easy was it that they accepted him into that role?
Well, it's the same thing. I feel maybe that's two-part question. I think we have a good team, just good people. So I think all those rooms, man, it's just I talked about the D-line just now. I think that's a really close room, and they have some personalities and some character in that room, but it's a very welcoming room, and everyone. Credit to D'Amico and to Nick and everybody. We built a team that enjoys everybody else's success, man. And so that part of it, in terms of accepting new players in the room, and Jay Mills shows up a couple weeks, he's part of the group already. You know what I mean? So I feel that part's always those are the type of people that we're looking for. From a playing standpoint, again, he's just like anybody else. They'll learn the techniques we're asking him to play, and I think as he's getting more work out here, now some of that's showing up on game days, and it's a reason why we took him in the draft and evaluated him, and he's just got to keep working to get better. There's, I would say, some inconsistencies as we go through it, in young players. So the more that he keeps drilling down on the techniques we're asking him to play, then hopefully he keeps earning some play time for us. So, but man, I love this team. It's a good group. Cool. All right.